Alright guys, last video I'm doing today is the year-end top 10s, 122-pound super bantamweight division, the number one fighter in the division. Each number one fighter in every division is going to get their own video of my opinion, and with nobody else in the video. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the state of the 122-pound super bantamweight division, my opinion of that division. So, the number one fighter now, finishing number one in the division in 2019, WBA and IBF unified champion Daniel Roman of California, United States. Roman entered the year number one. He was it was kind of a toss-up though between him and Navarrete, which it still kind of is for the top spot. But Roman entered the year coming off of a 3-0 2018, which got him the number one spot with his overall work and some of the fighters he had defeated. He had a nice win to close out the year, knocking out Gavin McDonnell in the 10th round of that fight, of a close one. He entered 2019 hoping to unify belts, and boom, Eddie Hearn came through for him. In April, he got a unification bout against TJ Doheny, who was the undefeated IBF champion. And man, what a great fight. I thought Roman was going to blow him out and kick his ass, but man, Doheny put up a good one. It looked like Roman had him early, was landing good shots and hurt him and put him down. But Doheny came back in the middle rounds and proved that he is a really good fighter, and almost it looked like he almost knocked Roman out, who was fading. But Roman got a second win, and in the championship rounds he took over and won those rounds, and he got a hard-fought 12-round majority decision and added the IBF title to his waist. So now he became the unified champ. Now, he was supposed to make a mandatory defense of his belt in January, but he had to pull out of that fight with an injury. So now we just found out, though. So that's how he finished out his year. Only one fight, went 1-0, but it was a huge fight, and he unified belts. So big-time win for Roman, which is why he stays number one for me right now, because of who he's beaten and how he beat him, and the fact that he's a unified champ. That goes a long way to unifying one division when you hold multiple world titles out there. So anyways, he's the only unified champ at 122 also. He's only 29. He's still in the prime of his career. He overall, he's 27 2-1 with 10 knockouts. Not a big power guy, but he's an all-action guy, and he can box too. I think that's what separates him from some of the other fighters, is he's a good boxer puncher, and he has a decent amount of power to keep you honest. So I like Roman a lot for that reason. He has his mandatory. Next up is his WBA mandatory. Has been rescheduled January 30th on a DAZN undercard. Again on an undercard. I don't know why this guy keeps getting undercards, but it's going to be a good one when he takes on undefeated Muradjan Akhmadaliyev. I really hope he beats that guy so I don't have to say that guy's name anymore. But he's an undefeated former Olympian, I believe. And I think he's only 5 or 6-0. I think Roman's going to win that fight by a decision, possibly a late stoppage, and then push forward. After that, he's got a couple options to make. He's got an IBF mandatory defense due against interim champion Ryosuke Iwasa. He could face Iwasa. I think he could, but I think I think if he has the option to unify belts against Ray Vargas, I think he might vacate the IBF title and go unify belts with Vargas instead. That's just my opinion. There's nothing to that, but those guys are with the same company. They're both with DAZN. They both fight on DAZN. Roman's with Matchroom. Vargas is with Golden Boy, but it's a makeable fight, and that's probably a better option in terms of attractive fights for Roman. And I think Roman needs to, really separate himself. I think Iwasa, he lost a couple years ago. It's a good option. Iwasa's a top 5 guy, but Vargas is an undefeated champion, and he's been one of the top guys for a while now. And I think that would just sell more to the public. It would prove, hey, we're trying to truly find a top guy in the division. Thing is, he's going to have to sacrifice a world title to do that. So does he want to do that? Or is he looking at another 3-fight year where he fights him, fights Iwasa, and then possibly takes on Ray Vargas or Manu Navarrete or Brandon Figueroa towards the end of the year? Any one of those, I think, is an option. It really depends on how he does in his first fight, though. That's gonna really make a difference. So we'll see what happens. But I'm a big fan of Daniel Roman. He's a veteran. He lost early on in his career, and he's bounced back, and he's a world champion, a unified world champion. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in 2020. So that's it on the top 10. Now, the state of the 122-pound division, you know, this has generally been a division where it's kind of a stop-through division on your way to featherweight. But you know what? It's really become a good one. You got really good fighters. They're all Mexicans for the most part at the very top. But you got other guys in it too, like Dahani and Iwasa from Japan and Havanasian from like Turkey. I mean, these guys are all good fighters. Most of these guys are on, the top 10 guys are on the networks though. They are there and are they're able to work with the networks, you know, to get fights. You got DAZN really controls this division. Daniel Roman is on DAZN. So is Ray Vargas with Golden Boy. TJ Dahani is with Matchroom. He's on DAZN. Azat Havanasian is with DAZN as well. You know, former world title challenger. Ronnie Rios and Franklin Manzanilla fought on DAZN. That's 5 or 6 guys right there. That's over half the division. The PBC has Brandon Figueroa, Ryosuke Iwasa fought there, and they have Guillermo Rigondeaux. So 3 guys. The only one kind of fading is top rank with Emmanuel Navarrete. He's the only guy fighting for top rank, but I think this is going to be a year where we're really going to see a lot of these these guys open up and fight each other. You know, get in the ring with each other and unify belts. I'm really going to make that prediction right now because there's so many good fights to be made. And this division is a division where these top guys need to fight each other, especially the top 3. Roman, Navarrete, and Ray Vargas really need to separate themselves from each other. Because you got other guys that are trying to get in the mix. Brandon Figueroa is there. Havanasian sitting out there. You know, guys ready to pounce. But these guys have taken over. They've proven they are the top 3. And I really want to see them fight each other in 2019 before other guys move up in weight or before somebody loses, because you know it really needs to happen. So we'll see what happens. The big fights I want to see are obviously between those 3. Any one of the fights, any fight between those 3 fighters would be great. I think the most makeable one would be Daniel Roman and Ray Vargas, though, would be huge. You know, for later in the year, that would be the biggest fight to look forward to. But hopefully these guys will get in the ring. All right, guys, that's it. That's the number 1 Daniel Roman and the state of the 122-pound division, super bantamweights. Hope you enjoyed this top 10. This is my new thing, True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.